reporting for TTN-HD Production Live, here with writer-director Craig Goodwill of Patchtown, which is premiering at TIFF in a few days, really. How are you feeling right now?
Anxious. It's not necessarily about the screening. I think it's just the onslaught of people trying to find tickets. And we sold out in about an hour, and they just released another 30 last night, and so everybody's been contacting me. So it's been quite a whirlwind. Actually, I'm looking forward to the screening as more of something to enjoy as opposed to kind of get anxious and crazy about. So it's exciting in all levels.
Great. And Patchtown, from what I can tell, is a musical satire. Can you tell me a bit about the story? When I hear Patch, I think of the Cabbage Patch Kids.
It was all based on Russian folklore, so the story of the Cabbage Patch Kids actually comes from Russian folklore and the idea of growing up in the Cabbage Patch. So this is a story of what happened to all those Cabbage Patch Kids when their parents ultimately grew up and they were abandoned, and they were returned back to this town, Patchtown, where they pick, process, and package the new Cabbage Patch children to go out into the world and ultimately lament each one that does, because they know ultimately they're going to end up back here and sad.
Okay, wow, that's very, very forlorn.
Yes, it's you know, the nice part about the musical aspect too is that it provides a lot of levity to the film. So it is light and fun, even though we're living in a kind of a very dark atmosphere.
And what kind of music, what genre of music are you going with?
It's very Slavic, very Eastern European, a lot of accordions and violins and things like that. So we like to call it kind of a classic Disney film in terms of, if you look back at classic old Disney films, they were actually very dark. And, you know, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is a perfect example of what everybody thought was a very light and fun film, but actually in many ways it was about a king that ruled that didn't allow children, and all the children lived in the sewers, and ultimately the toy makers made toys for the king. So it's we kind of just built it on that model, and there we are.
And what inspired you to write the story in the first place?
Lots of alcohol. No. It was you know what? I had a Russian script supervisor, and we were really bored on set one day, and we were talking where babies come from, and she said. And I said, well, my parents said the stork brought us. And she said, well, in Eastern Europe, you're born in the Cabbage Patch. And I was like, well, that's where this must come from. She's like, exactly. And then she sent me a photo with a fetus inside of a cabbage, which was crazy dark. And then that kind of took it, and it was like the satire opportunities of wondering what happens to little girls, because they love those dolls so much, and everybody like try to kill each other for those things back in the 80s. So what ultimately happened to all that passion and love when little girls grow up? So starting to get into the ideas of abandonment and love, and then because you have an Eastern European feel and a Western style kind of consumerism, you can, those are two kind of juxtapositions that you can, there's a lot to explore.
Great. And is there a website where we can find out more information?
There is, patchtown/themovie.com. We're all over Facebook and Twitter as well, so just type in Patchtown and you'll be able to find us.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Craig, and best of luck at the festival.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
I'm Katie Uhlmann reporting for TTN-HD Production Live.